What's going on out there, Buck fans? First of all, happy Easter. Many blessings to everybody out there. I hope your Easter weekend has been nothing full of, if anything, at the most family oriented. I hope everybody was able to get together. I hope it was good for DMV folks. I hope y'all got y'all crabs and shrimps and your beers. My family back down south, I know the barbecue and the soul food was on point. And for up north people, I don't know what y'all be doing up there for Easter, but I hope it was good. But Midwest, West, everybody, I'm just glad I hope everybody has had a wonderful holiday. Now you can join us. Now that you got the family out the way, you got the kids, you kiss everybody, you hug your grandmas. Now you're here on Bucs Report, the aftermath, where we educate and entertain. And as always, I need y'all to subscribe to that YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Music, where we tell it how it is. And right now, a lot of things that we have talked about, has been coming to pass. A lot of things that the Bucs Report, the aftermath, as I told you, Coach Slick, myself, the dude, we don't say this because we want to be right. We say this because we're looking at what is looking right or what is looking wrong. Again, Joe Bucks fan, Computer Report, those guys, they do their jobs. But again, we're here to tell you what it is. We're not bound by any politics or things that we got to play nice. That's just not what we have to do. Again, we're going to tell it as it is, because there's so many things right now for the past few weeks that has been happening that I tried to tell y'all, listen to us. Don't listen to silly, simple ass loose cannons. They don't know what they're talking about. We do. AJ Turn up here on TikTok. If you go there, I tell you the truth. We're going to have a lot of nice little things today. We're going to knock them out piece by piece. And then we're going to have some fun with a little bit of, scenario situations also. We got to bring back a certain legend for the Bucs that's been disrespected. I got to bring, because Buck fans, that was the things that they said was blasphemous about this player. And I ain't going to let that shit stand for it. But before that, let's get into one of our main topics, and let's bring in one of our most well-decorated individuals on Bucs Report. Let's bring in our defensive-minded champion coach, and Coach Slick, aka the British guy who's always fly. Come on in here, Slick. What's good?
It's all good, man. It's been Easter. We get the chocolate eggs over here, so I've been nose diving into chocolate eggs all day. So a little bit of gym as well.
I can dig it, my man. Look, man. I've been all over with my lady and her family. We was down in the countryside of VA. I'd say I'll take you there one of these days, just for the experience. It's different. I'll tell you this, like, the America in a nutshell is not the big cities, it's them small towns. It's the small towns that you'll see. I'm gonna send you a meme about that. But yes, holiday is good though. Got a chance, like I said, to be with my other future family. So works for me. But now we're here with the Bucs family because we're here to talk about things. And again, this isn't the boast, y'all. We're not here to boast. However, you're talking to a defensive.
Occasionally we can be right.
Not occasionally. A lot of times we are right.
We are
and we try to tell y'all.
We know a thing or two. We know a thing or two. We just try to be humble.
We know a thing or two, guys. And again, this isn't about what Stephen A. Smith's silly ass of them say. This is about being on the football field, watching film, doing certain things. And then it's funny, Slick, because one of the big topics I'm going to bring up to you, if people just watch film, especially for these new Gen Z generation people, things would be so much different. Slick, it's things called film. If people just watched film, Slick, and truly understood it or asked us, I think they would be fine. But let's get to let's get to one of the first big topics. Slick, first of all, Slick had a bombshell that literally this is going to validate everything Bucs Report, the aftermath, has been telling you. Go on, Slick, drop that atom bomb, please.
Okay, so pro football talk. posted up, did an interview, I believe, that with Levante David, and Levante David basically came out. Now that he's retired, he can say what the fuck he wants. Has basically said what we've been saying, that we had an inkling that a certain quarterback might have been a lot more injured than he actually was. And this is why the play dropped off. We saw it. Baker Mayfield did not look himself towards the end of the season. He didn't run as much. He was cautious. He was way more careful with his body than he'd ever been before. And all of a sudden, we're finding out, like, I'll read this verbatim. Now the season's over and I can talk about it. Levante Davis said, by a Joe Bucs fan as well. Man, Baker was going through it a lot, bro. Baker had a lot of injuries that you didn't expect a quarterback to play through. You know what I'm saying? He had the oblique injury. He had the shoulder injury. He had other things, ankle injury, knee injury. He was just really trying to push through, really trying to be a player that we needed him to be. Baker Mayfield started all 17 games. He was only listed questionable twice in week 4 and was questionable with a bicep injury in week 13. And he was questionable with a shoulder injury. All in all, he appeared on the injury report for 10 games, foot toe, right bicep, right knee bicep, knee oblique, illness, left shoulder, right shoulder, knee. So what I'm telling you is the guy got banged the fuck up. Now, AJ, you're an offensive guy. I know you know your offensive shit. What helps a quarterback immensely that we struggled with that year?
Oh man. Well, first of all, I don't want to be here all day, because if that's the case, I got a full list booklet of the wrongs, but let's just keep it simple. The biggest thing for me, of course, Slick, first things first, this as a coach, offensively, we had no identity. So without an identity, as my man Slick always just say, this is not fucking Madden. You cannot go out there and just throw plays out there. That's not how things get done. So when you don't have an identity, ladies and gentlemen, in football, that means your offense has no chemistry, no rhythm. So that's out the door. So defenses can literally attack you because you have nothing to do. Now, let's also offensive line. The second biggest thing, our line shuffled, guys. I remember literally the dude had to tell me when we played the Atlanta Falcons of opening season that we had to shuffle our offensive line. So when you shuffle your offensive line, now your line has no chemistry. The quarterback cannot really anticipate through his progressions, because he's going to have to think about in the back of his mind of getting out of the way. And then thirdly, we didn't have a run game, guys. Well, first of all, our best running back was out 7 straight weeks in Bucky. So all of that was domino effects. And then because he didn't have a line to protect him, he had to get out of the pocket and extend the plays. That also means he's going to put his body on the line. So,
not a slider.
Not a slider. So what does all that tell you? When he is taking and absorbing all those hits, for people out there who don't understand how football works, that's literally a car accident every single play. And his body reached his limits. What happens when you reach your limits, people? You tend to fuck up.
Yeah.
Now, did I explain everything correctly?
Every hit hurts that little bit more when you're injured. Especially if you fall, you got a bad shoulder, you fall on top of that shoulder, you don't think that fucking hurts?
Well, and here's another thing, Slick, and you know this. What is a quarterback to do when he knows that the defense cannot bail him out? Imagine the pressure that he has to go through, Slick. Like, he knows, like, you know what? My defense ain't got what it takes to put this team away or to at least be clutch. I have to put this team on my back. There's a reason why, Slick. Why do people not realize there was a reason why the Bucs were only winning close games by less than 5 points our first 6 weeks of the season? You know why, Slick? Because our defense was letting us down. Our defense was keeping us into the game. So this is where I just don't understand, Slick, where all this.
But we all know with Bowles, it's always been a cautious coach not to win, but not to lose. So he's so
That's
worried
right.
about losing that he's playing I think he thinks he's playing he's playing fucking chess. He doesn't realize he's sat on a fucking board with nobody there, and he's just there like, I'm a fucking mastermind. Watch this shit.
Yep.
Because the aggressive approach has been proven time and time and time again that it works.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams, when they won their Super Bowl, were uber aggressive. The Seattle
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks were uber aggressive. Aggressiveness breeds something in your players, and when you play passive, you are passive, which means you give up touchdowns, that you give up the chump plays. So you can't play hard-nosed defense and be passive. You can't. They don't. The two don't go together. You
That's
can't
right.
go, I want you to get after the quarterback and whoop his motherfucking ass. I want you to pick every fucking ball off. I want you to dominate the line of scrimmage, and I want you to lock up your wide receiver. He get nothing today. You can't say that if you're going, well, we're just going to play the long game, guys.
Yes.
We just got to stay in the game. We just got to stay in the game. Can you imagine being sat on a sideline and you got your coach telling you we've just got to stay in the game? I have never said that. When I'm behind, I always say, guys, okay, we're behind. Let's stack a fucking shutout. Let's stack a series where we just knock them off. And when they come off, that's one. Let's put another one on. And we're building the block. And I'm saying, we're building a wall, guys. We're building that defensive wall. That's how you breathe. I'm not saying you need to be he needs to find coaches and leaders that have that fire, that something in their bellies that makes them go, let's fucking go. Let's switch that switch. Let's go and fucking win this game. Let's take over this motherfucker. That's what I want. I want to turn it up. What I always say, when your ass hit that grass, go fucking fast.
I like that. When the grass hits your ass, go fast. And that's exactly what needed to happen. There was no urgency, Slick. There was no intensity. If anything, the offensive side of the ball had to keep doing their job, and that makes it harder when that was supposed to be our strength. But Slick, we saw this. The injuries happen, and we're not making excuses, guys. But it's injuries in football, especially at your quarterback position and offensive line. That's a big situation. Oh, I mean, that is true. This is very true. I agree with that, Kaylard, you're right. And here's the biggest question, though. Why is that? A lot of times, your Slick has said this, and so have I. Your team reflects the coach. Under the Arians administration, we were hungry. We desired greatness. We were willing to risk it all. In this era, Bowles, as Slick has said, is passive. But I want to get back on this.
Too much fucking caution, man. He's like that little old. You know when you're driving behind a little old lady and
yes.
she gets to a T junction, she's like this, and you're right behind them, and you can see a car go past, and you're waiting, and you're like, go, and she's there like you can go.
Yes.
And that's Bowles. He's that little old lady. He's too fucking scared to pull his car out because he's like, I want a big gap. I want all the space so I can have all the time I want. It'd be better if you did it because you nailed that.
Oh no, I get what you're saying. Bowles is just simply like you said. Hey, coach, why are you playing it safe? And you have a Ferrari. Well, I just don't want to overexhaust it, and I think it might be a little too slow out there.
Yes,
it's a Ferrari, coach. I'm aware, but we're gonna do what we gotta do. We gotta keep the gears in one gear at shift at a time now. Coach, you have an automatic. Oh. that is Bowles in a nutshell. Yes, I agree. It's like, what's the point of having, I'm gonna go even further now. This for people out there, if you know, you know. What's the use of having soldiers if you don't use them? That's a movie, Slick. I'll give you that line later. I'll tell you the title of that movie later. But you have the soldiers, Bowles, use them, and you use them correct way, like you said. And Slick, football 101, we know this. If you know that your team has a weakness, why put them to the disadvantage? We know, ladies and gentlemen, Bucs fans, that our pass rush isn't the greatest. We are aware of that. So what is Slick has always talked about? What have I said? Your secondary is going to have to help out that pass rush. If you have an average pass rush, you have to use your secondary to give them time, disrupt. You can do this with Vita, Yaya, Levante at the time. The pieces were there to be effective, but Like Slick said, Bowles got to remember this isn't 2020. You don't have JPP. You don't have Shaq Barrett. You
You
don't
got to get
have
creative.
Ndamukong Suh to back up Vita Vea. That's what we're saying. Hell, we don't even have a William Golston anymore, Slick, who is,
Hey, but we got Nunez Roaches is back.
yeah, I was,
Okay, come
yeah,
on, he's a dude. He's a good guy.
exactly. I'm like, okay, we've seen this dance before, but okay. I
I'm okay with
couldn't
it. He
do
was
it.
a good dude. He was a good
Mm.
dude. It rotational piece.
Yeah, exactly. Rotational piece, which look, maybe like you know what? Maybe if he's building, if he plans on, if Coach Bowles is going to tell us with a straight face, we got to win with bodies, I can respect that. But before we do that, let's get back to the Levante David thing because I think it's vital that a lot of you, a lot of you fake shiftless, sorry ass sons of bitches. Oh, the dude. Oh, Slick, and oh myself an apology. Here's why, Slick. We always talk about from a football perspective. The dude told you the mechanics behind Baker Mayfield isn't working. Now, if you want to know what the mechanics means, you can come to TikTok, AJ Turnup, and I'll let you know it might be tomorrow. I'll update it. But if you need some education on how football works and mechanics, Slick and I can more than delight to help you. But anyway, let's get back to this. He told you that mechanically Baker was overthrowing players. He was telling you that he couldn't plant his foot. I kept telling people Baker couldn't take off because even when there was a window, when people were saying why, Slick was telling you that that's what was going on. We told y'all this, but no, you called us liars. You thought we were hating. You were saying, no, guys, it's just Baker. He's just a gunslinger. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's his responsibility to get people open. Levante David told you that he was hurt more than what you think. So, Slick, here's the real question we got to ask them. Are you calling the great Levante David a liar? A guy who sees him every single day? A guy who plays with him? A guy who's been a mentor? A legend like Levante's a liar all of a sudden? I want y'all to let that sink in. So the next time you challenge us and we try to tell y'all silly asses how football works, not by the masses, not by the media. Like I told you, Stephen A. Smith can kiss my ass. I will tell him to shut the hell up. And if he got something to say, the first thing I'm gonna ask him, what's a hitch? He can't answer the question. He don't qualify. That's the problem, Slick. A lot of these people who talk shit and think that they know football, when we ask them to break down the basics, they don't get it. You know this, Slick. If a quarterback can't plant his foot the right way, he's not going to be able to get that ball in. And here's the
Well, a
$1 million
lot of people
thing,
don't
Slick.
realize the amount of talk that's generated from. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just the art. Like if you can throw your son or your buddy in the street and you just go like that. But if you really want to throw long and you really want to throw hard and you really want to throw sharp and crisp, you are rotating your hips. Yes, you throw with your hips. Weirdly enough, your hips and your shoulder and arm are all in synchronization, and it's bang, 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 bang. That's why if you ever watch Tom Brady, his foot curves out on his throw inside. And that's because he's creating torque from his hips. He's in that side profile and he whips the hips. We all took the piss out of sorry, I'll try and use it in English. We all mocked a Cowboys quarterback who does suck, but with that stupid dance, that's him practicing whipping his hips so he can generate that torque that fires that fastball, fires that cannon. Because if you just stand there straight and go, yeah, like that, you ain't get those kind of balls are what we would call air balls, where they just float in the air forever and anybody can have them. When you're thrown in the NFL, they need to be quick, they need to be fast, they need to be sharp. And you do that by generating torque, by whipping your hips with your shoulders in line and releasing the ball off your pinky, basically. That's the mechanics of it to a degree. I mean, you can go further if you want to, but that's pretty much it. You generate torque, you build up that speed, and a lot of people don't realize how powerful your ass is from a muscle point of view. You tackle with your ass. People don't realize you tackle with your shoulder. No. If you tackle properly, you tackle with your ass because your ass is the biggest muscle in your body. Physically, the biggest muscle in your body, unless you develop somewhere else, that is a lot of muscle there. You tackle with your ass. Your
Hey,
hips will
again, guys.
fire into. We would call it uncoiling. You uncoil your hips.
Again, Slick is giving you football. This is football 101. If you've been out there on the field, you played and you coached, he's not wrong. The problem is, Slick, everybody thinks they're fucking Reggie White. There's a difference. Some of those guys are anomaly players. You're talking that Slick. That's the problem in this era. Everybody thinks that, well, we see Von Millers of the world do it. We see such and such do it differently. Those people that you guys are thinking about, those are generational anomalies. As Slick said, you better go out there and use your ass. You better get out there and be basic. You go on that. Look, Slick, they look, if you don't believe in that, they're gonna end up playing like some ass.
Yeah, or they'll end up on their ass.
You're gonna end up on your ass. So again, guys, we know these things from a football technical standpoint. I don't give a shit what they tell you out there. We tried to tell y'all this. And Slick, I think, in my opinion, from what I saw with my football eyes, I think the moment where Baker got hit and it really hurt him, but he was able to outplay it, was the game against the Texans. Slick, a lot of people don't realize when Gedeke went out of the game, that literally changed the entire outcome of that offensive line. Gedeke was handling Anderson one-on-one. What happened when Gedeke went out, Slick? The pass rush immediately was on Baker Mayfield. People don't realize that. And what did he have to do? He had to play hero ball. That last play in the fourth quarter on the fourth drive, Slick, if anything, that should have showed you that's Baker's greatness. Baker realized if I don't get out there, we're done. You know what I'm saying? This is what people don't get. And we tried to tell people a lot that Baker was hurt, but you didn't want to hear us. And now that Levante David has inadvertently, Slick, validated the Bucs report, the aftermath. Again, we tried to tell y'all this. We don't have to do the political things. We don't answer to the Glazers. We don't answer to anybody for the Bucs. Now, if they want to get on here and talk to us, we're sure than happy. And if they want to sit in there, their apostles, either someone from Pewter Report or Greg Omens of the world, this isn't dissing y'all, but we can tell y'all certain things. Yeah. Slick, imagine if we were able to be at the facilities and watching them the way that they can, but with our football knowledge. We could tell you from practice, Slick could probably be like, oh yeah, this corner ain't shit. Oh yeah, this defense is messing up. I could tell you, oh yeah, this running back ain't ready. Oh yeah, the line isn't doing what they need to do. It's a simple thing of analysis, Slick. You've always said this, and so has the dude, y'all. You got to use your football mind and eyes, guys. It can't just be the stats, because how do you know how the stats are produced if you don't know the basics? That's all we're saying. Baker Mayfield was hurt. Levante knew that. And if anything, Slick, I can only imagine Levante's frustration. He wants to help Baker out, but he knows he has a coach that's tying one arm behind their backs.
Yeah.
So, guys, in a nutshell, we just want to let you know, we know what the hell we're talking about when it comes to that. Leave Baker Mayfield alone. First things first, who are you going to pick after Baker Mayfield? If Baker Mayfield leaves, who do you have your faith in? Mind you, it's not that many people out there. You want Kirk Cousins? You've seen what Kirk Cousins has done. You want to look into the draft? Who in college right now, and Slick brung this up. Imagine picking like a Jamarcus Russell or a Ryan Leaf. Now you're like, oh shit. Again, guys, what people do in college does not
trading up to go and get that guy. Imagine going, we'll offer you 2 first rounders and 2 second rounders, and we'll take that guy. You're done for the fucking. You ain't got no future for fucking 3 years, and then you still go and find the quarterback.
Oh, and here's the thing. I want to answer this question because this is beautiful. Also, I appreciate your time because this is where I'm going to get you. You ready? Slick has said this before. And the reason why I always give people their props is because I want to acknowledge people. Again, I don't know it all. So I always want to, I'm a person that cites their sources. This is my source right here. Slick, remember when you said this? How many people on defense were missing on the Bucs starting defense outside of Kalijah Kancey?
None.
So Olsen, Bowles is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. He has all his starters. The offense had an excuse. What is Bowles' excuse, Olsen? Why was this defense still shitty? Because here's where you don't put yourself in what we call a paradox. You can't say one thing, oh well, he's a good
He's a
defensive
controller
coach.
of one side of the ball that should.
Well, here's the funny thing, Slick.
That's got
How they go?
absolutely nothing to do with quarterback play.
But Slick, this is where they get caught up in their own shit. If you saying that Bowles doesn't have the pieces, but then you're saying he's a good defensive coach. So which one is it, Slick? You see that? How is it you gonna say that he doesn't have the pieces, but he's supposed to be this really good coach? Again, you're contradicting yourself. One moment you're saying, well, the defense, it's the player's fault. Slick we've said this many times. I thought it was the coach's responsibilities to develop these players. Again, Slick, we've seen what Coach Tomlin was doing with less talent. So that's no excuse. We've seen what DeMarco for the Texans was doing when he didn't have all his pass rushers. So what's up? Was this defense shitty down the stretch? Yes. And here is why, Slick. Slick and I, we went, fellas, the ladies and gentlemen, Slick and I went to the Cardinals game in Tampa. Great fucking time. Family likes you too. So, and Slick enjoyed some good culture food, and it was good. Sir. But we saw this stretch, Olsen. We saw the schedule. We were thinking, okay, the Bucs should literally wrap this shit up. You watched the Cardinals game, Olsen. Why couldn't this defense dominate with a backup quarterback in Jacoby? We saw the Dolphins game. Why couldn't this defense beat a quarterback without Tua? We saw this Bucs team against the Saints. We saw this Bucs team against the Falcons. So you just answered your own question, buddy.
All I'm gonna fucking say is fucking 4th and fucking 18 or whatever the fuck it was.
3rd and 28.
Fucking 3rd and 28. I don't want to fucking hear any of that shit. Don't tell me about no fucking defense. If you can't defend 3rd and 28, when you know they're gonna pass the ball, that's all they're gonna do. They're not doing anything else. They're not gonna they're not gonna hit you with no play action. They're not gonna, because they don't have the time. They can't waste time. They can't waste downs. I'm not here for that.
I'm not here for it either, bro. And you're not wrong. So again, Olsen, I hear what you're trying to say, but again, this is a cop-out. You either get it done or you don't. Players and coaches alike. Okay, Olsen, I'm glad you said that, because if that's the case, Bowles hasn't gotten it done. You do realize that Canales got it done on offense. Cohen got it done on offense. How come everybody else gets stronger around Bowles and he's the common denominator of showing consistently inconsistent? So again, my man, I hear what you're trying to say, but again, it's a contradictory. So Bowles couldn't get it done. And if they knew this, why did they keep those certain players? You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it that way. Why didn't we go and get again, Slick, didn't I say a long time ago we should have gotten the pass rusher from the Texans? It wasn't Anderson. It was on the guy on the other side of the ball, because he played for the Vikings back in the day. I forgot his damn name, but he was a Vikings pass rusher before he came to the Texans. I wanted him then, and I said we should have got him, but nobody wanted to listen to me. I'm about to look him up right now. 1 second. He's the pass rusher for the Texans. Pass rusher, Texans. Who is he? Danielle Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when he played for the Vikings, Slick, and I said the Bucs need to go make noise and go get him.
That's a stud, though.
But again, we could have got him at a better price, Slick, when he was with the Vikings. He was coming off a good season, but imagine trying to get a guy like that now. You got to give up at least a first.
Yep.
So again, guys, we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing here. Again, we said what we said. Olsen, I feel you, but no. The answer is no. I want to switch it over again, Slick, because there's another legend for the Bucs that's been disrespected, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But Slick, I want you. You're not a defensive-minded person, but I want you to. I mean, you are a defensive-minded person. You're not, but you also know the offense. We're going to do a little trivia and work with me here. I got you. I want you to look at this squad right here, Slick. And I want you to tell me, in your honest opinion, what offense would you try to assemble to beat this? I'm not. There it is, right there.
I mean, that's a
Woo.
whew. That's not a team I want to go against.
My man, Slick. I mean, I'm gonna just tell you this. I'm gonna take you off the screen. I'm gonna take this off the screen, but Slick, that's the answer right there. There's nothing an offense can do. Look, Slick again. First of all, fuck running the ball. You're not running the ball with these guys right here, with Reggie White, John Randall, Warren Sapp, Michael Strahan. Oh yeah, for you youngsters out there who don't know any better, Aaron Donald ain't got shit on John Randall nor Warren Sapp. And if you need me to school you on the mechanics and the philosophy and the skills, I'll educate you again. But anyway, let's just say, Slick, that by a miracle, because this is Easter Sunday, so it's all about miracles. Let's say you get through that. Now you got LT, Ray Lewis, and Derrick Brooks. I repeat, you're still not running the ball.
No.
And
Your
again,
best bet, like if I'm looking at this team, the best bet is to take advantage of the slots. See if you've got a really sexy slot receiver, because they're not in a nickel package, is probably the only thing I can really like kind of pick on here a little bit, because obviously you're going to have linebackers take on. You got linebackers picking up slot receivers, so that's where the matchup is, yeah. But you should calm that by adding in Rondé Barber and subbing out probably subbing out somebody.
Well,
right?
even with if anybody could play nickel, it would be Rod Woodson, because he played corner first, then he went to safety.
You could roll him down and go to a one high, sure.
That's what I'm saying. So again, and then imagine somebody trying to throw, Slick. I think that's the worst thing. Who's getting through this?
So I'd say spread is your only option.
Yeah, your only option. And
your only option.
Because again, Slick, what line is going to be able to handle Reggie White and Strahan on the outside, and then you got to double Sapp or John in the inside? I don't think people realize, Slick, how good Sapp is when it comes to his jump off and his fundamental mechanical hand movements. Yeah. And he was so fast for a fat boy. If they don't double him, Slick,
and nasty as well. You got, don't get me wrong, like Jerry McCoy was quick off the line. He was a smooth move operator on the off the line. He was very quick off the line. That's why he was so quick sometimes that he would get called offsides, even though I think he was fractionally just that quick.
Yep.
But it's the nastiness, the tenacity, that attitude that he had that kind of made him who he was. Obviously, it goes against him as a person sometimes in his career, but as a football player, it made him nasty, and it made players chirp, and it was just like it was just brilliant to see. So,
but more than that, Slick, his brain. People don't realize how smart Warren Sapp was. Slick, he could call out defensive stuff. And here's the funny thing, Slick. You know who he had to outsmart that people don't even realize what makes Sapp a big genius? Brett Favre. He was going up against an elite quarterback of his time. And mind you, Brett Favre was one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played a game. So he had to learn, Slick. And also, he does something that Aaron Donald couldn't do at the level of Sapp. He could stop the run. He could stop the run, y'all. Everybody on this list right here, Slick, they had to stop the run. You had to earn the right to rush the pass.
Big sackers as well.
Yes, and they're big and they're fast. Now, the reason why I bring this up, Slick, because some simple-minded nitwit, or as you would say in y'all country, this wanker, had to be disrespectful, Slick. Now, viewer discretion is advised, Buck fans. This right here is the utmost disrespect. And I don't know, Slick. I might have caught a charge. I might have had to pimp slap this guy because he just said the dumbest shit. I want you to read this.
Brooks ain't a top three linebacker all time. How nah? He's just being Bucs fan biased. This is not even top 5 all time. Okay. But, and I will reiterate my point, people don't understand the linebacker position and what the linebacker position asks of you in the different spots.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As an outside linebacker, you're probably looking at one of the better ball hawk linebackers of all time. Not only that, he could stop the run. He is like the perfect pairing with Ray Lewis, who I think is the greatest of all time, right? He is in my opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the ultimate Batman and Robin fucking combo, because they both exemplify. They do it in different ways, but the outside linebacker position is very different. Not every outside linebacker can play inside. Not every inside linebacker can play outside, because sometimes, especially in the older game, you were asked to go up against tight ends and all those guys who have a bit more speed than you and shut them the fuck down. And something that you don't have as many pick sixes as a guy like that guy in front of you if you're not good at what you fucking do. You don't have as many tackles for a loss, fumble recoveries, all of the above. You don't have his stats if you aren't him, and you have to be fucking him. You have to. Like, there's no two ways about it. The thing is, when we judge top players, everyone, especially if you're not a fan of that team, if you're a fan of your own team, there's always somebody who's got a special place in your heart that you go, well, that's my underrated guy, and I think he's better than that guy, and I think that person's better. So you end up kind of unshelving somebody. Now, realistically, you could take the top 10 linebackers, and every single person could have an argument of where they line up from top number 1 all the way to number 10. The order, right? Everyone could have a difference in opinion, because it's your perception of that list. Now, the only way you can really compare is, let's go with the NFL 100. That was voted by peers, that was voted by coaches, that was voted by NFL brass. So when you put something like that together and you're a top 100 player, then the argument for that solidifies you a little bit more. All decade is massive. That means you were the best part of a decade of football. You were the best outside linebacker in your decade. So then you're comparing. You got to compare an apple to an apple, or an orange to an orange. If your guy that you think is really, really good, it was all decade, but in a different decade, then you have that argument, right? But it's just different, and people don't really understand that. I see him as he's definitely in my top 5. I don't know about top 10. I think he's top 3 outside linebacker easily. Linebacker, probably top 5.
Oh, Slick, I'm gonna tell people this. This is the problem. I don't give a shit who your team is. I don't care if someone got you moist the most. That's the problem, Slick. Some of these dudes out here be like, well, he was exciting to watch. Like, bruh, damn. If anything, Slick, I'm going to go out there and say it. Derrick Brooks is the greatest coverage linebacker of all time. Here is why. Tampa 2 don't work without him. If you don't have a linebacker, Slick, that can drop back in the deep coverage and take on a tight end, or that's able to drop down real quick and secure the middle. And also, we just said it, stop the run. He changed the game like Slick, how we talk about Rondé Barber being the nickel. He is the embodiment of what it is today. When you change the game of something, Slick, that makes you – Ray Lewis changed the game for middle linebackers.
Yeah, for sure.
LT changed the game
everyone tries to emulate – everyone tries to emulate your game, you know you're the fucking – you're the dude. Right?
The guy. And that's all I was trying to get people to understand. I said, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Because and here's the thing, it's like I don't give a shit who you put up there. I don't go by the sentimental stuff, because somebody was like, so Junior Seau ain't got shit on Derrick Brooks. I said no. Here's why, Slick. Again, this is nothing against Junior Seau. God rest his soul. But he couldn't cover. He couldn't cover like Derrick Brooks. If you put Junior Seau in a Tampa 2, Slick, he couldn't do it because he doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have the side awareness of Junior, because Junior was a bigger linebacker, and he was asked to do more what, Slick? Blitzing. Junior Seau was more of a blitzing linebacker than Derrick Brooks. Now, and here's the crazy thing, Slick. We've seen Brooks. He can blitz when he wanted to, but he wasn't assigned to do that because his job was to protect the passing. And I'm glad you brought up Ray Lewis, Slick, because you know why? Here's the thing that people love to say, that they try to discredit Derrick Brooks. Well, AJ, this is what they do, Slick. Well, AJ, it would have been easier because he had a fucking loaded roster. So People's dick rides Ray Lewis, right, Slick? Let's look at Ray Lewis's roster. Tony Siragusa, Peter Bulware, Jamie Sharper, Sam Adams, Rob Burnett. Now let's go to the cornerbacks. Chris McAllister, Dwayne Starks, Rod Woodson. Hey, Slick, that sounds like a loaded team.
That sounds like a loaded fucking team.
So are we gonna?
But great defenses are loaded teams because those guys gel together. They become the elite. Give me the okay. I'll challenge that person, and I would say, and I think we've got something going on in the comments in a minute that we'll have to go to because it's getting spicy in there. That our opinion's been wanted, so we'll go to that in a second. But I will say this: find me a team that's got no bodies on it that is a hallmark defense, and you won't be able to name it because guess what? It didn't happen because all the hallmark defenses were assembled as Hall of Fame, same as all the hallmark offenses. No one's going to turn around to me and say the Buccaneers 2002 offense was elite. It wasn't. It just wasn't. It wasn't on the Raiders fucking spectrum. It just wasn't. But it was efficient enough to win them a championship with the defense that they had. And that's the bit. They got the offense to a level where it could compete. That's all they needed. An offense that could compete, a defense that could shut it the fuck down. And that's how they did it. That model is kind of broken today. Not saying you don't need a defense, but you need the offense. It's all about offense. I think in championship games, that defense really comes into fruition. But I think the road to the playoffs, the road for the regular season games, to build up and stack all those wins, the defense is great. You need the offense. But when you get into the chip games, the really big motherfuckers, when it's a tight game, that's when the defense will come trump. That's when you've got that immovable object. And I'm glad you said that because again, Derek Brooks, Ray Lewis, those guys, Slick, are timeless players. You put them in any era of football, they're going to dominate. Because somebody else tried to bring up Dick Butkus. I laughed so hard, Slick. I said Dick Butkus, Slick, would be out of breath by the end of the first quarter in this modern day football. You said it best. If you ran a spread, running a spread. It's eras. So yeah, okay. If you were playing smash mouth football, he'd probably be the better guy to use than a Derek Brooks, right? And I'm okay with that. And this is the thing that people get too fucking in their feelings about it. It's like, okay, yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's like when you talk about basketball. LeBron's a great fucking basketball player, but he ain't no fucking Jordan. He ain't no fucking Shaq. Because let's face it, if Shaq give a fuck about basketball like Jordan did or like Kobe did, the GOAT conversation will be all about Shaq. He was just too much of a specimen. He just didn't give a fuck enough about basketball to be the guy. He was just too good at it. He was like, yeah, I don't need. I'm that good. I don't need to fucking train like everyone else. But if he had that Mamba mentality or something like that, and that's what you need. You can put people in different generations. This generation, LeBron James is probably the best fucking basketball player. In this generation, the best quarterback is probably going to be at some point. Like I still think it's Tom Brady, yeah, but he's not our generation anymore. That generation ended.
Yes,
so now we're looking at the Mahomes. We're now looking at these other guys. And I'll bring it straight back around about the whole Baker thing. Baker Mayfield has as many championships as Josh Allen has. Baker Mayfield has as many championships as a Lamar Jackson has. It don't fucking matter.
It don't matter, y'all.
You just got to win games. And if he's the reason you were losing games, you need to find out why. But
exactly.
Going back to what you're saying, I've got no problem with someone saying eras. I'm okay with that. I know that Derek Brooks would not survive in 60s football. He wouldn't. He's undersized. But that's fine because he's built for this generation's football, and that's okay. That's why we have the all-generation, the all-decade teams. They're there for that reason.
Exactly.
That means you made it.
And Slick, that's another thing. Sometimes there's media and organization bias. A lot of the bigger marketed teams are going to have more recognition. Mike Singletary, love him. But again, I would run a spread on that 4-6 defense and they're cooked. But what city did he play for? What city did he play for, Slick?
Chicago.
Now, what's a bigger market, Chicago or Tampa?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Historical. Like
Yes.
it's a fan base that was there from, I wouldn't say the beginning, but it's very close to the beginning. I believe
Yes.
it might even be the
But
beginning. It's like the hardest nosed football team of.
Again, but look, you just said it. It's Chicago. People don't realize a lot of times those bigger marketed teams, they can control the narrative far more than the small market teams. You have to be so good at what you are in those smaller market teams for people to recognize you. That's the thing. Derek Brooks, if Derek Brooks had these numbers for Dallas Cowboys, a lot of motherfuckers would probably put him at like the second greatest of all time. If he played for the Green Bay Packers or the 49ers or the Giants or the Redskins or the Eagles, again, it's Tampa, y'all. Tampa doesn't have the market and access to the world as much. Tom Brady showed you that. That's why Levante David is finally getting his flowers. Before Tom Brady, a lot of people were like, yeah, Mike Evans of the world. This is why it's important to understand we're not here to say, oh, that's an excuse. No, that's a reality. When you look at the businesses and teams that get a lot of prime time, Dallas Cowboys can be ass, but they're going to get at least 4 to 5 prime times. You know why? Because it's Dallas. It's a bigger market. That's why I say, Slick, about Derek Brooks. He did.
What does more prime times games do? It gives you more face time. It gives you more air time where everyone's watching and everyone watches the Nats. Why do you think they always play Thanksgiving? Why do you think we're going to watch? We're going to watch the Lions. We're going to watch the Lions. We're going to watch the teams like the Bears, the Dallas Cowboys. Whoever's hot at the time will be in one of those games around those times. Same with the Christmas games. Same with the New Year's games. Same with the fucking Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. Those kind of games. They're all big. The ones that get the most of those, they're all big market teams because that's what fucking sells. And when you're sat with after your Christmas dinner or whenever the game is on, and you watch the Thanksgiving after you watch the Macy's parade on Thanksgiving, and you turn on that channel and you're watching the Bears versus the Detroit Lions, a wide receivers catching ball, you fucking take note because it's the big game. That's the time. Which when you want to turn it on, right? You want to have the biggest game and the biggest moments, and the biggest moments of those big games in the regular season. Then the playoffs come. The playoffs are the same fucking thing. Julian Edelman gets a lot of love because he played in so much prime time games.
Yep.
And has played in a lot and was very good. No one's ever going to dispute that. Is he a Hall of Famer? Fuck no. Fuck no. Wide receiver is like one of the most hardest things to get into as a wide receiver. A guy who's got sub fucking 10,000 yards should never, ever get in. Doesn't matter what he fucking did in the playoffs. You've got to be consistent throughout.
See? And that's, again, guys, this is why
on him. I think he's an amazing, there's something about that guy. He was so fucking good. He had perfect hands, but he wasn't, he was never a guy who took over a game. He was a guy who was, I would say he was just clutch. He was what you want him to be when you needed him to be it. But he was never a guy who took over a game. Yeah, he's never the dude. Not like Gronk.
Exactly. Again, yes. Just because, again, Slick, a lot of people got to realize just because they get you moist don't mean that's the best choice. That's my thing.
I like
just because they get you moist don't mean it's the best choice. I'm sorry. Just because someone excited you doesn't always mean it's the best. But you said it. We'll wrap this up in a sec. You wanted to go to the comments. Go ahead, Slick. You said these comments were getting juicy.
Okay,
I like that.
Comments getting spicy, man. Okay, so let's go through. I'm trying to go. Bucs Gold Gang in the house believes that Light and Bowl should be gone if we miss the playoffs next year. Light must go. Could imagine better GM would be better. Olsen always coming as he always does. Bucs will only downgrade from Light. He is a top 5 GM in the NFL, in his opinion. Light only had one good season when we got Brady.
Oof.
It's getting spicy. You want to end with a lesser GM like the Lions and the Ravens have. That's a big step backwards. Ravens and Lions?
Ravens and Lions.
Better do that right now. Then you want the Bucs to get worse. This is fun. You think Light on that list? It's like is like cutting Josh Allen so they could sign Dak Prescott. And then they were being asked, is Light on the list?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you yes, because here's the thing. Here's the issue behind that. This is a what have you done for me lately kind of business. And this is why Light has attached himself to Bowles. Everybody knows on record, Slick. I'm about to just tell people
A little bit too
this
attached,
again because I'm a little bit too attached. And again, this is where Light
Although
kind
I
of made
wouldn't be
his
surprised if he
mistake.
got fired. If Bowles got fired to save Light's job another year, I could see that
Mm-hmm.
happening.
Agreed, that too. But again, I said this right here back in the day, Slick. I said this. This was the Cohen era. That is where Light could have ascended to another level. Because again, this is a business, Slick. You could be friends. Slick is a dear bro to me, but if I'm fucking up this offense, he's gonna have to do his job and let me go because Slick can't afford his team and himself to suffer just because he's cool with me. If I'm being ass and I can't get the job done, that's on me.
Well, here's the thing.
Again,
I think there's
mind you.
two things to this, and I completely agree with what you're saying. What if he doesn't think the offensive coordinator or whoever they got in that's causing he doesn't see that as the problem. So that's why they end up holding on to these guys because they're like, well, I think he's doing all right. I think he's fine. I think he's just got a bit of rookie jitters, or he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. That's when you need to, like, if you can't assess that that's the problem, then you're the problem because you can't assess it.
Mm-hmm.
Second part would be, how do you navigate that? Yeah, we all have friends. You build relationships in work. You know, we all go to work and we all build work friendships, but we also got to stay professional. We also got to make each other accountable, but it's got to be done in a place of like, it's not, we're friends and I love you to pieces, man, but we really need to talk about this offense or we really need to talk about this defense because it ain't it. And what can I do to help you? Because I'm the head coach and I don't want to go down a route where I may have to fire you because I'm feeling that pressure right now. That's your seat is cooking and I'm trying to get the temperature down. I'm trying to cut it down, but you need to help me. What can I do for you? What can I do to help you? What do you need? And if it can't happen, then yeah, you got to go down that route. We're gonna have to release you because.
And that's all I'm trying.
Most coaches know that. Like no one takes it too personally unless they know they're coaching gold and they're being held back. Like they're going, you can't call that. You can't call this. You can't do this. Your game plan's this, and this. That is different.
And yeah, it's like if I'm making the kind of money that these motherfuckers making, hey, if I'm fucking up, at least I can walk away with some money in my pocket. I won't take that as personal because I'll be like, you know what? You are right. Because like if we're really bros and I'm hurting you, I wouldn't want to put that on you because that's a fuck up on me. That's an indictment on me because now I'm bringing the ship down all because of my selfishness. Sometimes some players just gotta, some coaches gotta go. Look, like you said, Slick, if you told me
some coaches get better.
Yeah. If you tell me there's got to be a change and I refuse to go, no, this is what we can do, then it's my fault. Because what if it is something where you say, AJ, I know you want to run this spread, but let's get more into running the ball a lot better, a pro. Mm-hmm. And what if I go, Slick, let me try that. And then we get better. If anything, you help me save my job. Now we're on a better page and I can do things to the point to where we're getting so good. Now I can't go back to the spread a little bit because now teams aren't expecting it and they can't anticipate it anymore. Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of coaches fuck up at. If you just compromise and do certain things, you're gonna be fine. So again, guys, to wrap this bad boy up, we told you so when it comes to the Baker Mayfield and the injury. We told you that this team that was being held back by Bowles from our view and from certain players that we've encountered that was like, yeah, you've seen the people like Jamel Deans and the Halls going to other teams saying, hey, I want to go to an organization that's about winning. So again, y'all, I need y'all to subscribe to YouTube, Bucs Report, The Aftermath. You need to also subscribe to it on Spotify and Apple Music. So if you don't need to see our faces, I want you to hear us. Pewter Report, good company. Joe Bucks fan, good podcast. Those guys are good. Now, when it comes to the other ones, no. But this is where you're going to get the real shit. We're educating and entertaining. And again, we can break down the X's and O's furthermore if you like to talk about it. So At that point, go to check out my YouTube channel, Bucks. It's about Bucking Time. There's a video called "Give Coach Slick an Opportunity." The accolades are there. I can only talk about it so much, and he's getting ready for football season too. So his actions, he backs it up, y'all. So again, if you think you know more, you can always talk to Slick too. With
Yeah, I'll
that,
talk
I'm about
football
to
with
get out.
anybody. If you want to learn anything, go for it.
I'm about to get my ass out of here, y'all. I gotta hang out. And again, I will let y'all know when I go to my TikTok lives. It's on TikTok, AJ underscore turn up. Like I said, what's a hitch? If you can't answer that question, you're not on this level. As always, bro, you take care of yourself. Happy holidays to you, the missus, and the
Yeah, man.
family. Be easy. And as always, guys, go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Okay, guys, I'm going to address a few comments, and then I'm going to get out of here myself. It is about 11:30 at night, so not ready for bed, but getting there. Why Bowles hired his son? It's crazy. Well, it's, Bucks Skull Gang in the house. It's quite simple. Every coach in the NFL pretty much does it. It's friends. It's buddies. Hey, if you go and look at that championship Buccaneers team, Coach McVay's on it. Yeah, because his dad's friends with John Gruden. John Gruden gave his brother a job as well. So everyone does it. So I don't have a problem with it. I just wish it was my job. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind going in there and doing a bit of that. But everyone does it, so I don't really have a problem with it. He might be a good coach. Who knows? Who knows? Let's go through a few more of these. We can't fire Bowles both. It might do. We'll see what happens. You telling me that we chose Bowles over a great coach was available? I don't know if there was a great coach available. I mean, Gruden and Tomlin available us next year. I mean, potentially. I mean, I'm not bothered about Gruden, to be honest, because Gruden's never developed anything. Like, go and look at his history. None of his draft picks pan out that much. Remind me who Gruden draft that was elite. I mean, he ran. I'll give Cadillac Williams a kind of a pass because he ran him into the fucking ground. But genuinely, there's no one in his tenure that I can turn around and say, wow, that was a great defensive player. That was a cornerstone piece for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we had low draft picks, remember, when he was there. So it's not like he was picking 19th, 22, 31 all the time. He had his opportunities to pick better players. He had his opportunities to trade for better players. He didn't develop anything. That's my only gripe with Gruden. Great offensive mind, not a great developer of talent. That's how I look at it. Very smart football coach. Really fucking smart. Possibly too smart. And I mean that in the sense of he could maybe overcomplicate shit to a point where people are like, I don't fucking know. And they fuck up. Yeah? And because he's a head football coach, it's my fucking way. Sometimes you just got to simplify shit and people get it so much quicker. Which is what coaches in the UK have to do all the time because we don't get fucking hours and hours of practice. I get my guys for indies, so for individual periods for my positional group, I probably spend less than an hour with my unit as DBs a week. So think of the growth you've got. Just think how much you've got to fucking simplify shit to make it fucking people understand it to guys who've never played the game before. Yeah. We get a total of probably 5 hours of practice a week, maximum. That's warm-ups. That's fucking, yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a lot at school. It's not a lot. You've got to do a lot in a short space of time. But indie periods have always been like that in the UK. It's we don't have these guys that long. They've got wives. They've got lives. They don't get paid. It's hard. It's fucking difficult. So we have to do it all in the correctional part. Every practice is recorded. We go through the recordings. I'll send my guys tape, and we'll look at what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, what they can get better at, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I'd love Tomlin. I'm a huge Tomlin fan. I don't know if the game's passed him by yet, but I just always love that dude. But on that note, guys, I'm going to grab myself a drink and finish off a few more Easter eggs. And that will be me, and I will see you guys all soon. So, as always, Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucs!